Okay, let me see what we have here. And okay, we saw the different triggers. We talked about the licensing, if I remember correctly.
Yes, yes.
But what else we did? This is all one beta X. Okay, I think this is, yeah, this is the one we started the other day.
Right.
Okay, so we created a text variable, a numeric variable. We saw conditions to do different calculations. Here is an addition, and this is a subtraction. Let's see what other stuff we can do with variables. No. Nope. Initialize. Okay, Boolean. We don't have Boolean yet. Object array. Okay, I think the most important one from here will be array. And just to finish with the numbers, let me see if I can use the increment after this increment variable. Increment by 1. Let's increment by 2. And there is another one called decrement. And let's decrement by 1, which basically means it's only one bigger than we're going to get here. This is very self-explanatory. It's just incrementing a numeric value and decrementing a numeric value. Probably this will be helpful for counters. If you want to count how many loops have you done already, in like, for example, an action to process multiple items, which we have not seen yet, by the way, then increment or decrement might be useful. That's just to conclude with the integer or floating values. But today we are going to work with an array. Arrays are very interesting because you can put together many strings, many numbers, objects, or even arrays inside arrays. So let's make this an array of strings. So how an array works? Let's see the action. Append to array variable. And here we put hello. Just like that. Let's do this at the very end. And yeah, just that. Hello. Let's put this to test. Okay, so just to finish the number part, we have this 150 for the numeric result. And if we increment the number, it goes to 152. And if we decrease the number, it goes 151. Okay, just because these two actions increment and decrement. I think that is very easy to understand. So let's focus on the array part. In this part, I'm creating a new variable called array of a string. And below here, I'm adding just a new string to the array. At this point, it has only one value. Let's try to add more stuff into the array. So another append array variable. And then this is more text. And another one. Okay, but it's not showing us the value. Let's see how we can see the value of this array. It will be nice if we could read that array somehow. Okay. So I'm going to send an email to myself. But look at this, there is no, the action of the array, it doesn't show here because the object per se is not text. It's a collection of text, so it doesn't know what to do with that. We need to convert the array into something that we can use for reading. So let's see what we have with arrays. That operation. What was it? I think it's join. Okay. Come on. Could not find a valid connection. Okay. Let's try again. What? Invoker message could not find a valid connection. What are you talking about? Okay, I don't know what's going on with this one. Let's try with the blue action email send email. What? Come on. That's not nice. It seems there is an error with the emails. I'm going to create a new one just to see if the problem is with that flow only. Test email. It seems the other flow got corrupted somehow. I don't know why, but no problem. We can create the array here again. Let's just add some input here. No, this is not going to be useful. Let's just create the array. Initialize bar array. It's going to be empty. And then append to array text 1 bar append to and then, because this is an object, an array is a collection of values, we need to convert it to a string, as we mentioned before. That's why we are going to look for the compose actions. Well, actually not. Is data operations. Data operation and join to put the array together, separating the values with comma and space. Hello. Now put the output there, please. Yep. So the other flow was corrupted for some strange reason. Well, actually, that happened. It can happen to you, and if you ever see a problem like that you cannot put a very easy action like sending an email back to work, well, the easiest thing to do is start a new flow. Very unfortunate, but it happens. So here is the concatenation. Text test 1, test 2, and text 3. You can see it's separated by comma and space. Basically, this join put all of these together. By the way, look at this. Here's what an array is. So very easy. Here we are starting the array. Here we add one element to the array, another element to the array, a third element to the array, and here we see the result. If you remember from the programming lessons, in other languages like JavaScript, C#, you can write arrays like this, putting the text within double quotes and separating the elements by comma.
Right.
Very, very easy. Of course, you can join numbers or objects or other things in the array, not only text. Let's see what other things we can do, but I want to see if we can get data from here. Okay, perfect. I know what to do. Just got the perfect example for this. Okay, so purchase list. Please enter your purchase list, separate products. Right. Let's see how this works. It's going to ask for some information, and let's put some information here, like meat, water, soup. Okay, see, this is my purchase list, and I want to separate this into an array. I want to create an array with this stuff. How to do that? Well, let's take a look. I'm going to delete this and delete. And here I'm going to use a split. I'm creating a new array here, and in the initialize variable I'm going to use the formula split. Then it says the first parameter must be the source text, and the second parameter is the separator that I'm going to use. Let's take a look. So it's my purchase list. Oh, come on. Purchase list, there it is, comma, my separator. which is another comma and space. Okay, that's my separator, which is going to create the array. And just to compare that this is going to be different from what we see here, let's join it with a different character. For example, let's join this with maybe break line HTML. Okay. And notice that I'm going to switch this email into HTML mode by clicking here. This will ensure that if this text includes HTML like this, it will recognize it correctly. So let's take a look. Okay, you can see that the split worked correctly. This was my input, my purchase list, meat, apples, water, and soap. And the split separated it into an array. And then the join put them together with this break line character or tag, HTML tag. And let's see the result. Here is the email with some break lines there. Let's see the email here. And there it is, one per line. Really, really easy to work with arrays. Let's now discuss another important topic, the loops. So it will be nice that we can process the arrays that are here and get some information. For example, let's create a catalog in SharePoint. So I'm going to go to SharePoint. Create site. Whether the site is okay, so this is just for testing. So actually, we already have some sites. Let's open this one. Oh, maybe this one has some data. Okay, no data, but no problem. Let's create a list. And let's call this list. Maybe we can use one of the templates here. Just to test them. But none of these says product or something interesting. Event employee issue. Nah, let's create a new one. So this will be products. And let's put some pricing to this. Probably a category. So this will be objects. Yeah, just that. And let's add some apples. Don't remember if it's double L. I think it's double L. 1L. Okay, and then drinks like okay. We have some products here. And now let's connect to SharePoint, but by getting each one of the items in this array. So how we do that? Well, we can insert a loop or let flows create the loop for us. Here it is applied to each, and you can tell, hey, apply to each of the elements in the array. Or we could do something else, like for example, email, and here okay, now let's do the manual thing, manual step. Okay, control, apply to each, and then array, right? And now let's see how we can use these actions, these values, sorry. Okay, there it is, current item. Here is at the very bottom. So it's going to get each one of these and send a lot of emails. Let's see if it does that. Okay, it finished. Let's take a look. There it is, meat, soap, apples, water. And this is another one that put them together, which we already saw. Let's take a look on the apply twitch to see how it works. This is the email. But the important thing to notice is these numbers here is going to show us each time this run, the iterations of this loop. Let's move to the next one, and we can see it had a different value, apples. Next one, water. Next one, soup. Very interesting, but that's sending a lot of emails is not very wise. We want to get some prices and categories, so let's get rid of this email. And what we are going to do now is to get data from SharePoint. Get items. Well, there is one problem. The singular action here is expecting an ID. Let's see. If I connect to this one, products, and I tell, hey, current item, but current items will be IDs, it might work. Let's take a look on that. Test. Well, actually, that's not. Come on again. No, 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 no. Okay, let's delete this. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it run. And here we have it worked because let's show the IDs here. ID run 1. Okay. There it is. And these items have an ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, blah, blah, blah. And in the input, I write the IDs. So it gets each one of them. ID 1, apple. ID 2, watermelon. ID 3 is meat. ID 4, water. Okay. And soda. Okay. Okay. But the problem is, what about if the user put the name of the products instead of the ID, like apple, meat, and beer? What will happen here? We got an error. Let's take a look. Okay, so here are the 3 products we added as the input. It was able to create the array, so the array is not a problem. But this action get items is expecting an ID, not a title or any other field. Here the error says, hey, input parameter ID is required of type integer. Value apple to be converted doesn't have the expected format. So that's not an ID. So what we can do here? Well, not much with this action, because this action only works with IDs. What other alternative we have? So let's delete this. Unfortunate, but it didn't work. Well, we have another get items action, but it's in plural. And you will see that it is slightly different. Why? First of all, well, let's set up this, the site address and this. Okay, good. First of all, it is not going to ask for a specific field here to say, hey, put the title value and that's it. No, you need to specify the query, the filter query with this OData format. For example, for titles, you put title equals with EQ for equals or less than, greater than, less than or equals, greater than or equals, and I don't remember the others, but let's use equal, and the value is inside single quotes. This is a title, blah, blah, blah. For example, here we're going to put apple or another thing. So we know where to get those values. Let's just scroll down here. Come on, come on. And here is the current item, which is coming from this apply to each loop, which is iterating the array we created above. So current item. Okay, this is going to evaluate each one of them and get some results. Let's take a look on what this throws as our output. Okay, so we have a result. Actually, we have 3 results. That looks good. Let's. Unfortunately, the data is big and it's not going to display here. So you need to click here and click to download to see the data. Okay, so here is all the data from that item. Let's look for title. There it is, title, and I can see the value is Apple. There are other fields here, for example, category. Category is here, and the value is food. Let's look for price. Price is there. Okay, now let's look for another one. This one should throw the data for meat. So let's click here. Title, and there it says meat. Okay, let's look for the data of beer. And there it is, beer. Okay, so very easy. So how we get the details? We want to get the price and the category. How we do that? And where we save those values. So it's okay that we are reading them, but where we store them. For now, I'm going to create a very simple variable. This is not the final idea that I'm going to use, but I don't want to focus too much on the variable, rather in the data extraction. So just I'm going to call this variable var get properties data. It's going to be empty, and below here I'm going to use var again, var set variable get properties data, and here I want to get the outputs of these get items, right? And look at this. Here it says get, come on. Okay, here it says get items, the same name of this block. So I know these values are coming from this block because of this name. Remember, the important thing is the name here. Not that they are SharePoint things or data, because there could be many actions doing the same thing. The important is always this gray text here. So it's the same. Now, let's look for the properties. We want the price and the category. Let's put some text here. Price. So where is the price? Price. Here it is a price. But put attention and see what is going to happen, because see the elements we already have. We have a loop here, and the job of this loop is to iterate the values from this array, the array that contains the data input, the product list. Okay, inside this array we are doing an action to get data from SharePoint. However, there is a small catch here. This action is plural, it's not singular. The other action, get item, returned only one item. This one can return multiple items. Even though we know for sure this query is going to return one item because we grow that data and we know there is only one apple, one meat, one beer. Power Automate doesn't know that. The only thing that Power Automate knows is this is a plural action, and therefore it can have multiple items, at least potentially. So what it's going to do when I add the value there, price, is going to modify these blocks in a way that you're about to see. Okay, so I'm going to click price now. Boom. Did you saw that? Now it added another apply to each loop. Why? Why it did that weird thing? Well, is what I told you. This action returns multiple items. In essence, or basically, this is an array too. And maybe an array of one result. Yes, because of the filter we added, it returns one result, but an array at the end of the day. So therefore, if you want to extract data from here, you need another loop. It's the only thing you need to take in count. So now it's funny because we have a loop inside another loop. The only one that is important for us is this loop outside, because it's going to go variable by variable inside this array, the string by string, sorry, to get a specific item in SharePoint. And now this loop is not really going to move too much because it's just one result. Still, it might not be the case if we add more than one. We are going to do a test like that, so we can actually see what happens when there is more than one apple, more than one beer, etc. Okay, so for now, I'm extracting the price here, and also I want to extract the category. Okay, so I'm going to look for category. But category is a choice field. If you pick this one, it won't look good here in the system. It will put some weird characters like curly brackets and some properties. If you want to get the value of a choice field, and this is a choice field, the reason is a choice is because we created the choice literally, is to use the same name of the field, but it must say value like this, category value. This is the correct field that will throw the data we are expecting. Okay, let's see what we can get with the current scenario. Okay, so we know this works. We saw that before. And here it should get the Apple result. So what are the values for Apple? Price 5 and category food. Okay, let's see if we got that here. Yeah, price 5, category food. And as you can see here, it says one iteration because there is one result from these get items. Okay, let's move forward to the next string in the array. Now we are looking for meat. And again, it's only one result because there is only one item here for the meat. The price is 20, category food. Okay, price 20, category food. All right. So far, so good. Let's move to the next one. It's a beer. And now we have here the price and the category for the beer. Here it is. All right. So that's the way you're going to work with and get items. When you want to extract values, it's going to pass through and apply to each, regardless if it is a single result or multiple results. The thing is that this object is an array. And that's the reason you need another apply to each. What we are going to do now is to store these values in another array, because right now I'm saving them in the same variable. So I'm just overwriting the same variable again and again and again and again. And that's not very nice. So let's, instead of using this variable, let's do another array for the result. So I'm going to call this, so initialize variable, and then this is going to be output or array product products with details. Yeah, that's going to be the name. An array like that. All right. Empty. And here I'm going to add the data. So it's going to be R append to array. Array product with details. And let's copy this thing. Come on, copy. There it is. Going to delete this one. I don't need it anymore. And let's put the title. Okay, so the title, the price, the category, and that's it. Let's join the product with details. Okay, so this is our initial array. And this is the array for the output, so it's empty, of course. And now we start the iteration. We got the details for Apple. We are appending the details of the apple here. There is only one apple, so just one execution here. And now it says meat, and we are appending meat details, beer, and we are appending beer details. Let's see the join. And there it is, our final result. The 3 products with all the details. Ready to send by email if we want to do it with a string like this. In this join, remember that I'm using the break tag from HTML to separate them on different lines. Okay, but that sounds very easy. How about if we put more products? Let's add another column called brand. Okay, and happy farmer. Eight fruits. I don't remember. It's like this. I think it's double E. Okay. So spring water. Super sugar. And then okay, so let's add more. For example, another apple. And meat. Okay, so we have 2 apples, 2 meats, and 3 beers. Let's see what happens now. Okay, so our array again is just 3 items: apple, meat, beer. But here, first we got apples. Let's see what happened with them. Before taking a look on the loop, always let's see first the output from this action. So we can notice right away that the text is bigger than before. Let's see. Let's look for the title. Okay. Here we can see it says title apple, price 5. And here is another title apple, price 4.5. And let's look for brand. Okay, brand is here, it says happy farmer. And brand here says no so happy farmer. Okay, so 2 different items. Okay, now let's expand this thing. And we can notice it got the data from the first apple, but take a look at this. There is another execution. So it also got the data from the second apple. If we move to the next iteration for meat, it's going to be the same situation: 2 different meats, 2 appendings. If we move for beer, it's 3 beers here. So 3 appendings for beer. And let's take a look at the join. Look at this, there is many items. 2 apples with different prices, 3 meats, and 3 different beers. Actually, let's add the brand to make this more complete. Brand, where are you, brand? Okay, let's exit and open again. And there it is, brand. Okay, so let's execute this again. Okay, we have the full data, the title, the price, the category, and the brand. We can see the apples are from 2 different brands, meat from 2 different brands, and beer from 3 different brands. Okay, so that's how the loops work, and also scenarios to be careful, because sometimes you are not expecting the situation to have a loop inside another loop, so you need to be very careful. And when you need to extract the data of only one item, you could use variables to put the properties that you need in the variables. And then if you need the properties from the same object, you just use the variables below. So you don't have to use this apply to each time you need to get something from this thing here. We might see an example like that once we are working with files. Probably is going to be required once we get there. But for now, I think that's good for variables and loops. There is still other things that could be nice to take a look, like working with dates and other things, but I think we already did some small samples with dates. And we need to move forward to new topics next time. I believe we are going to do. Okay. Well, now that we have the variables and we know how to use loops, and also we know how to get data from SharePoint, I think we are ready to assemble the code of a file. So we are going to do the file thing next time. Well, questions? How about this topic?
It's really good actually. Yeah, means I get the knowledge about the iterations, for each and variables, and it's look very good to me.
And did you ever had problems like this from loops inside loops?
No, no, it's clear to me actually. It's just clear.
Okay. But do you see a situation where something like this could happen?
Yes, definitely actually. Array within array is same situation can be happening any times. But this example shows how to we achieve that once.
But can you think on a scenario where putting a loop inside another loop might be necessary or actually useful?
It can be which happen sometime, but not to many times. Loop in between loop. Actually, we can define the before the execute the start. So we can define the everything before the in first loop itself. But same situation will come in some cases where where we need the loop in between the loop.
Okay. I can tell you another thing. Imagine, for example, invoices. You want to calculate things in maybe even more loops. Imagine customers and then the invoices you have for that customer and then the items inside the invoice. So there could be a lot of levels. And yeah, maybe in a scenario like that. Hello, Emmanuel. How are you doing?
Hey, sir.
Some experience with this?
I haven't used this kind of loops. I mean, nested loops, but looks interesting to me. One scenario, probably, well, not a specific scenario, but I think it would be very commonly when you iterate through a list, a SharePoint list, and you have a column to be multiple multi-select column. I mean, a choice, probably a choice or a lookup column where you need to iterate through the item, but also to the properties of the specific field. So you will need these kind of nested loops. But it's interesting to me.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And we are going to see these things more frequently. But the important thing about talking about this early is because you can face them by accident without trying to. For example, in this scenario, we wanted to get only one item, but it forced us to use a loop. Even these get items were returning one item. So situations like that can happen, not only with SharePoint actions, but other things that instead of returning a singular item, it returns an array object. And in those scenarios, you will see that the object, this applied to each appears automatically. So that's the reason it's important to talk about these actions early before it happens to you and you don't know what's going on. Especially because you can put to risk, you can compromise the integrity of your flow. Imagine a flow that for some weird reason causes a trigger to itself. And you have a loop that does this to multiple items. So you have this infinite loop, and then you consume all the processing capabilities that you have for Power Automate. So you can have very bad scenarios if you don't know what this means when it appears. Okay, so well, I think that will be all for this week. We are going to resume until 29 or 30 for the other region, like Mukesh. So and that will be one session only, and then the Tuesday, January 5, is that night is going to be also a holiday here, so it will be only one session, January 7 or 8 morning, and so is one session this week, one session next week, and one session then the week after that.
Okay.
In India time, it will be next time we see is 30, December 30, and January 8, sorry, January 8.
What time will be that?
It is the same. It should be should show in the calendar already. It's just important to understand that is just one session each week this the following days. Okay, in case there is any question, please send me a message about the schedule or about the content of this. I will be happy to answer. For now, let's dismiss, and happy holidays. Enjoy with your family, stay safe, and let's talk soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye.